Imagine standing on the edge of a dark, infinite void peering into the unknown. What do you see? What do you feel for many? The abyss represents fear, chaos, or the unraveling of all that is familiar. But what if I told you that understanding this abyss, the one within and around us, holds the key to unlocking your true potential? Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you'll uncover truths that might transform the way you see yourself and the world. And the final revelation is the most profound of all. The abyss, as a concept, has haunted human thought for centuries. From the works of ancient philosophers to the most modern psychological theories, it symbolizes the unknown forces within our psyche and the vast uncertainties of existence today. We will explore not only what the abyss represents, but how it shapes our choices, fears, and growth. In this deep dive, you will discover how to confront your abyss, harness its power, and emerge stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Now let's begin our journey into the psychology of the abyss, a voyage that promises enlightenment, growth, and perhaps even transformation. What is the abyss for nature? It was both literal and metaphorical, a chasm representing the challenges and truths we'd rather avoid. But the abyss isn't just a philosophical abstraction, it is a psychological reality. Jung, the father of analytical psychology, described a similar concept in what he called the shadow. The shadow encompasses the parts of ourselves we suppress, reject, or fail to recognize. It's where our fears, insecurities, and unacknowledged desires reside. The abyss, then, is not just external, it exists within us. Have you ever faced a situation that made you feel like you were spiraling into chaos? A time when life seemed overwhelming and clarity felt impossible? That's the abyss in action. It's that unsettling void where everything familiar crumbles, leaving you exposed to uncertainty. But here's the paradox. The abyss, as terrifying as it may seem, is also a source of untapped power. Jung believed that confronting the shadow was essential for personal growth. Similarly, staring into the abyss is necessary for true self-discovery. When we avoid the abyss, we also avoid the truths it contains. Think of it as a mirror, one that reflects not only your flaws, but also your strengths and potential. The question is, are you brave enough to look? One of the most compelling aspects of the abyss is its duality. On one hand, it symbolizes destruction, the annihilation of comfort, identity, and certainty. On the other hand, it represents creation, the possibility of reinventing oneself, of finding strength in adversity. This duality mirrors the cycle of life itself. From chaos comes order, and from order, chaos inevitably emerges. Let's turn to another thinker, Søren Kierkegaard, often regarded as the father of existentialism. Kierkegaard wrote about the dizziness of freedom, a feeling akin to standing on the edge of a cliff looking into the infinite possibilities of existence. The abyss, in his view, is both a threat and an opportunity. It's the space where we confront the weight of our choices and the consequences of our freedom. Here's something to ponder. How often do you find yourself avoiding difficult truths or uncomfortable situations? What if, instead of running, you chose to confront them? Head on. The abyss challenges us to face what we fear most, but in doing so, it offers a chance to grow. Let's consider a real-world example. Failure is often perceived as a fall into the abyss, a dark place where we question our worth and abilities. Yet if you study the lives of great innovators, leaders, and thinkers, you'll find a common thread. They didn't fear failure. They embraced it for them. Failure was not the end, but a gateway to new insights, strategies, and achievements. Take Thomas Edison, for instance. When asked about his thousands of failed attempts to create the light bulb, he famously replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." For Edison, the abyss of failure wasn't a void to avoid. It was a space to explore and learn. The lesson here is profound. The abyss, when faced with courage, becomes a crucible for transformation. It strips away illusions and forces us to confront our essence. And in that confrontation, we find clarity, strength, and purpose as we move forward. Think about this. What is your abyss? Is it a fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown? How might your life change if you stopped running from it and started facing it? Let me leave you with a question to reflect on. When was the last time you truly gazed into your abyss? What did you see? The abyss, as profound and complex as it may seem, is not a force that operates in isolation. It interacts with every aspect of our being, our choices, relationships, ambitions, and even the stories we tell ourselves about who we are. To truly understand the psychology of the abyss, We must examine how it influences these facets of our lives, often in subtle but transformative ways. Consider the role of fear. Fear is one of the primary emotions triggered by the abyss. It is natural to fear the unknown, the uncertain, and the uncontrollable. But fear, when left unchecked, becomes a prison. It keeps us from taking risks, from exploring new horizons, and from becoming the person we are meant to be. Psychologist Susan Jeffers, in her groundbreaking book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, argues that fear is not something to be eradicated but something to be embraced. According to Jeffers, the act of stepping into fear rather than running from it is what allows us to grow and thrive. Think about a time when fear held you back. Was it the fear of failure, rejection, or perhaps the fear of success and the responsibilities it entails? These fears often stem from the abyss, that vast unknown that challenges our sense of control. But what if you could reframe fear not as a barrier but as a guide? Each fear points to an opportunity for growth, a part of yourself that is waiting to be explored. This concept ties closely to the idea of resilience. Resilience is the ability to adapt and recover in the face of adversity. The abyss tests our resilience, pushing us to our limits and forcing us to confront what we are truly made of. Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, wrote extensively about this in his seminal work, Man's Search for Meaning. Frankl observed that even in the darkest depths of human suffering, those who found meaning in their experiences were able to endure and even grow stronger. His insights reveal a powerful truth. The abyss, no matter how overwhelming, can be a source of profound meaning and transformation. If we are willing to engage with it in the modern world, the abyss often manifests as existential anxiety, a deep-seated unease about the purpose of life, the inevitability of death, or the seeming insignificance of our existence in the grand scheme of the universe. This anxiety, described by existential philosophers like Martin Heidegger and Jean-Paul Sartre, is not inherently negative. Instead, it can serve as a wake-up call, a reminder to live authentically and to align our actions with our deepest values. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. Are you living in alignment with what truly matters to you? Or are you caught up in distractions and superficial pursuits? The abyss forces us to confront these questions, often through moments of crisis. These crises, while painful, are opportunities to reevaluate, to reset, and to reconnect with our core selves. Relationships, too, are deeply affected by the abyss. When we avoid confronting our inner voids, we often project them onto others. This can lead to conflicts, misunderstandings, and unfulfilled connections. For example, a fear of abandonment might cause someone to cling too tightly to their partner, inadvertently creating the very distance they fear. Conversely, a fear of vulnerability might lead to emotional walls that keep others at bay. The abyss teaches us that true connection requires courage. The courage to be seen, to be imperfect, and to embrace the imperfections of others. Even in the context of ambition and success, the abyss plays a significant role. Many people chase external achievements, wealth, status, recognition, believing that these will fill the void within. But as countless stories of unfulfilled billionaires and burnt-out executives show, external success alone cannot satisfy our deeper yearnings. The abyss reminds us to look inward, to ask ourselves what truly matters, and to pursue goals that resonate with our authentic selves. As we continue to explore the psychology of the abyss, it's essential to remember that it is not something to be conquered or eliminated. The abyss is a part of us, a constant companion on the journey of life. Our task is not to defeat it, but to understand it, to learn from it, and to integrate its lessons into our daily existence. Now consider this. How often do you find yourself avoiding the deeper questions of life? What might you discover if you allowed yourself to fully engage with the abyss? The abyss is not merely a challenge, it is also a teacher. Its lessons, though often cloaked in discomfort or pain, hold the keys to profound transformation. One of the most important lessons the abyss offers is the art of surrender. Surrender is often misunderstood as giving up, but in the context of the abyss, it means releasing the illusion of control over every aspect of life. It means accepting uncertainty, embracing vulnerability, and trusting the process of growth. To understand surrender, consider the natural world. A seed must first break apart in the darkness of the soil before it can sprout and grow into something greater. This process is not one of resistance, but of yielding to the conditions necessary for transformation. Similarly, when we encounter the abyss, our instinct may be to fight it, to resist its pull. But sometimes the greatest strength lies in allowing ourselves to be transformed by it. Take, for example, individuals who have faced profound loss, a loved one, a dream, or even a part of their identity. At first, the abyss of grief can feel all-consuming. It is tempting to numb the pain or to distract oneself with superficial comforts. But those who choose to sit with their grief, to acknowledge it and explore its depths, often emerge with a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. This is not to say that the pain disappears, but rather that it becomes a source of wisdom and strength. Another lesson the abyss teaches is the value of humility in facing the vast unknown. We are reminded of our limitations, our fragility, and our interdependence. This humility is not a weakness, but a gateway to deeper connection with ourselves, with others, and with the larger forces that shape our existence. Think of the great minds throughout history who dared to grapple with the mysteries of life. Socrates, who admitted that true wisdom lies in knowing that one knows nothing. Or Albert Einstein, who described his or at the universe as a cosmic religious feeling. These individuals embraced the humility that comes from confronting the abyss. And in doing so, they discovered insights that have shaped humanity's understanding of the world. In the realm of psychology, the abyss is also closely tied to the concept of meaning-making. Viktor Frankl observed that even in the direst circumstances, those who found meaning in their suffering were able to endure and even thrive. The abyss strips away superficial distraction, forcing us to confront what truly matters. This process of meaning-making is deeply personal. It cannot be dictated by societal norms or external expectations. Instead, it emerges from a willingness to engage with our inner truths, to question our assumptions, and to align our lives with our deepest values. For many, this journey of meaning-making involves a spiritual or philosophical awakening, whether through meditation, prayer, or reflective practices. Individuals who engage with the abyss often describe a sense of connection to something greater than themselves. This connection does not necessarily conform to traditional religious beliefs. Rather, it is a recognition of the interconnectedness of all things, a sense of awe and wonder at the beauty and complexity of existence. However, the path through the abyss is not linear. It is a cyclical process of descent and ascent, of losing and finding oneself repeatedly. Each encounter with the abyss brings new challenges and new opportunities for growth. In this way, the abyss mirrors the process of life itself, a journey marked by continual evolution and discovery. One practical way to engage with the abyss is through the practice of mindfulness. By cultivating a state of presence and awareness, we can observe our fears, thoughts, and emotions without being overwhelmed by them. This practice allows us to navigate the abyss with clarity and resilience. Consider the story of a mountain climber facing a treacherous ascent. The climber does not focus on the entire mountain at once. Instead, they take one step at a time, fully present in each moment. Similarly, when we face the abyss, mindfulness can help us stay grounded and move forward with intention. Another approach is to embrace creative expression. Art, music, writing, and other forms of creativity offer powerful tools for exploring the abyss. These mediums allow us to give form to the formless, to articulate emotions and ideas that might otherwise remain hidden. Through creativity, we can transform the chaos of the abyss into something meaningful and beautiful. As we delve deeper into the psychology of the abyss, it becomes clear that its presence is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It is a reminder of the infinite potential within us, the uncharted territories of our minds and souls waiting to be discovered. The abyss challenges us to grow, to question, and to create. It is both a mirror and a crucible, reflecting who we are while shaping who we can become. Let me leave you with this thought. What might your life look like if you viewed the abyss not as a threat but as an invitation? How would your choices, relationships, and sense of self evolve if you embrace the unknown with courage and curiosity? As we approach the culmination of our journey into the abyss, it is time to reflect on its ultimate purpose. The abyss, as we have seen, is not merely an obstacle or a threat. It is a gateway, a passage to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. But what lies on the other side of the abyss? What do we gain from facing it? And how do we carry its lessons into our everyday lives? One of the most profound gifts of engaging with the abyss is the emergence of authenticity. To be authentic is to live in alignment with one's true self, free from the masks and facades imposed by societal expectations or fear of judgment. The abyss strips away these superficial layers, exposing the core of who we are. This process can be uncomfortable, even painful, but it is also liberating. Authenticity allows us to live with integrity, to pursue goals that resonate deeply with our values, and to form genuine connections with others. Consider the story of the phoenix, a mythical bird that must perish in flames before rising anew from its ashes. The phoenix's rebirth is a powerful metaphor for the journey through the abyss. It reminds us that destruction and creation are inseparable, that the end of one chapter is the beginning of another. When we emerge from the abyss, we do so not as the same person we were before, but as someone renewed, transformed, and more aligned with our essence. This transformation is evident in countless personal and historical examples. Think of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison, a profound encounter with the abyss. Yet instead of succumbing to bitterness or despair, Mandela emerged as a leader of reconciliation and hope. His journey through the abyss was not just a personal triumph, it became a source of inspiration for millions around the world. But the gifts of the abyss are not limited to grand historical figures. They are available to each of us in our daily lives. The courage to face a difficult conversation, the resilience to overcome a setback, the wisdom to let go of what no longer serves us. These are all fruits of engaging with the abyss. The final and perhaps most important lesson of the abyss is the realization that it is not something to be conquered once and for all. Life is a series of encounters with the abyss, each one offering new challenges and opportunities for growth. The goal is not to escape the abyss, but to develop the skills, mindset, and heart needed to navigate it with grace and courage. One of these skills is self-compassion. As we confront our fears, doubts, and imperfections, it is crucial to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. Psychologist Kristen Neff emphasizes that self-compassion involves three components. Self-kindness, recognizing our shared humanity and mindfulness. By cultivating self-compassion, we can face the abyss without judgment or self-criticism, allowing ourselves to grow from the experience. Another skill is the ability to find meaning in adversity. This does not mean denying the pain or difficulty of the abyss, but rather seeking the lessons it has to offer. Viktor Frankl insight that suffering ceases to be unbearable when it is imbued with meaning reminds us that even the darkest moments can contribute to our growth and purpose. Finally, the journey through the abyss teaches us the importance of community. While the abyss often feels like a solitary experience, we are never truly alone. Sharing our struggles, fears, and triumphs with others creates a sense of connection and support, whether through friends, family, mentors, or broader communities. These relationships remind us that we are part of something greater than ourselves. As we conclude this exploration of the abyss, I invite you to carry its lessons into your life the next time you face uncertainty, fear, or adversity. Remember that the abyss is not an end, but a beginning. It is a mirror, a teacher, and a catalyst for transformation. By embracing it, you unlock your potential, deepen your understanding, and strengthen your resilience. I leave you with this final question. How will you respond the next time the abyss calls? Will you turn away? Or will you step forward and embrace the unknown with courage, curiosity, and an open heart? The choice is yours. In that choice lies your power. Thanks for looking.